everybody. I was requested to do a dollhouse tour from several people, so I thought today would be a good day to try to film that up. So please enjoy my dollhouse tour. So the very first thing to know is that when I say my dollhouse, I don't actually have a physical dollhouse. I sort of just have my house and then I have a bunch of doll stuff in it. So it's like my house is the dollhouse and the dollhouse is my house. So basically I'm just giving you a tour of my doll spaces in my house. And I kind of have doll stuff all over in multiple little places. So I'm kind of gonna walk you through each of those. So to start off with, this is like my workspace. So when I ever say the doll workspace, this is what I mean. It's that table and that chair. Over here, we have cabinets. So I have 3 of these handmade doll closets. This is all modern day stuff. This is all stuff pertaining to my like core classroom characters. And then these 2, this is all stuff that's just like scattered, whatever, no organization whatsoever. Below here, I have drawers. So in this top drawer, I have holiday stuff and stuff for some of my classroom characters. So this is how I sort the accessories and the shoes for each classroom character. And I can kind of tell which character they're for by what's in them. I do have little labels in there with the person's name. Like this one's over here, up there. But like I said, I kind of can just tell who they're for. I don't necessarily need to like see the name. I have other holiday stuff, so I have like a 4th of July flag. I have some like Halloween stuff back here. Some like Christmas stuff. This is a Christmas tree. And I have like a Noah's Ark down here and stuff like that. So this is mainly for holiday and some of the classroom character stuff. This is mainly swimming stuff and hats and bags. So we can see I have some swimming gear. This is another swimming suit here. I have a bunch of hats, and then I have bags that are an assortment. And I guess I have like Luciana's spacesuit stuff in here because that stuff is massive. And more hats. I have found that I'm not super organized about any of the stuff here. It's kind of just like I know where everything is. I used to have less stuff and I was way more organized. But now at this point, I have so much stuff that everything is kind of just thrown everywhere. So I don't like that, but I'm kind of too lazy to reorganize, and it kind of just works for me because I know where everything is. Okay, and then in the very last bin, I have bigger like furniture items and then Welly Wisher stuff for the most part. So like I have the skateboard, yep, or snowboard. I have the voting registration thing, and I decompressed the whole thing, so the table is here and also like the pegs for the table and stuff like that. And then I have the juice bar in here as well as the accessories, some skateboards and scooters and like that kind of thing. And then I have, this is Welly Wisher clothes. Some AG sister stuff is in here because I got some of the sets for their clothes, but like I put it all on Welly Wishers. I don't have any of the AG sisters. And again, I label things by character, so I know exactly who each bag is for. And this is the heaviest because of like all the heavy microphone and the table and stuff, so that's why it is on the bottom. So focusing on this drawer, this is all shoes and smaller accessories. And I sort my shoes based on what kind of shoes they are. So these are sandals and slippers, all in here. And then underneath the top 2 things of shoes, again, like I said, very little organization. We have little accessories. So these are all gloves and some like flowers and stuff like that. These are glasses and sunglasses, mostly other little accessories. And so how do I know like where things are? basically, when I got back into collecting, I had less of everything. So, like, I knew that the glasses were here because this was only glasses. And I knew that, like, the flowers were back here because that was only flowers. So, that's how I kind of just go based on, like, I know where everything is. Because I just know where things were before, like a year ago. And I just, like, know that that's where it still is. But in general, these two bins on the bottom are, like, miscellaneous accessories. So, like, they don't have another place for them. This is a bunch of doll jewelry that I have. So some earrings, actually this might be all my earrings. So, like, I have earrings, bracelets, necklaces, and stuff all in there. Some, like, doll stuffed animals and stuff here. A couple bags. Yeah, there's no really rhyme or reason how I know any of this stuff. Okay, so then in this bin, I have flats and sports shoes. So this is kind of overflowing because I have a lot of flats, but I don't know if you saw that some just fell out. So these are all of my flats, and I know that the pairs are all in here somewhere, so I never really have to go digging that much. And then sports shoes are kind of on this side here. So I have, like, cleats, I have tennis shoes, tap shoes. I consider dance a sport for the purposes of, like, my organization here. Volleyball shoes, all that kind of stuff. And then here I have underwear and tights and socks. So here I've got a bunch of underwear. It's mostly modern day underwear. I do have a couple of, like, bloomers, but most of my historical dolls are all wearing their bloomers. So this is mostly just modern stuff. My modern dolls also wear underwear, but I have, like just in lots and stuff, received more underwear, and I've even bought some, like, off-brand underwear and stuff like that. So yeah. And then I have the volleyball and the basketball in here too. So I used to have few enough shoes that they would just all stay in these little containers. Now they kind of just all fall out, but that's okay. As long as the bins close, I'm satisfied. Again, not really a ton of organization here. Okay, so then this bin is sneakers and boots, and I have a lot of sneakers and boots. They kind of do all overflow. I, like, want to get rid of some, but I don't. So this is all sneakers and boots. So whenever I have to go through here, I kind of just take out what I don't need and then go find what I do. And then in here, this is where I have a bunch of food. So cooler, this is all the mini food. I actually don't use the mini food for a whole ton. It's a lot of effort to, like, take the food out and put together little scenes and stuff like that. So that's kind of what's down here. And then I have some bigger sweaters and headpieces back there and stuff like that. The flute. So yeah, that is kind of what this one is. It's just boots and food. So that's kind of how I know, like, which stuff is in the top, the middle, and the bottom, based on, like, this is, like, undergarments, this is going to be food, and then everything else kind of goes in the top drawer. I don't normally pull it out this way. There we go. There we go. Okay, moving along. So then this is kind of, like, more temporary stuff, I guess you could almost say. So I use this for, like, I have a few dolls lined up here that I'm just not really sure what to do with, or they don't have specific stands on the shelf. They just kind of hang out here for now. I do have kind of, like, a staging area of things that I'm waiting to, like, unbox. In this bag, right there in that bag, I have, like, meet outfits for some of these dolls that just, like, aren't dressed in them. And then if I ever have something that I just, like, need to throw somewhere, I'll just throw it maybe into this bin here. So this space is also shared with my husband for his Lego stuff. But, like, he doesn't really use the space very much. I use it mostly. So this is, like, a bunch of his Lego bins, more Lego bins, and actually behind these bins, my doll bins, are more Lego bins. So all of his Lego stuff is here. But as you can see, it's all underneath my doll stuff because I use my dolls and he doesn't really use his Legos recently. Okay, so then down here we have my bike, my horse, and then I also have like a little motorized scooter thing in my car that I just haven't brought up and cleaned yet. Moving the chair out of the way, that I have more Lego bins down here. I have that American Girl book that I just have to move. I have to do something with it. This is my trash. There's nothing icky in there. It's all doll trash. So it's all like paper towels and paper plates and like bottles and bags and stuff. So there's nothing icky in there. I just haven't taken the trash out. I have Melody's piano. I think that's Melody's piano back there. I have a couple of the Our Generation like Adirondack chairs. I have 2 sets of those so that 4 dolls can sit. And then I have this little tea set thing. So this is a human-sized tea set. So it comes with 2 human-sized cups and 2 doll-sized cups. And it's like real ceramic or porcelain or glass or whatever it is. It's like real, breakable. And I've used it once with like a real tea and a real human. I've used it once. But like that's over $100 on eBay these days. Then back there's more Lego. So then this is my like workspace stuff. So this is all stuff that I use to like work on actual dolls. So kind of nooked up between the table and the top, I have hair stuff. So this is like basic hair stuff. So I have clips, bobby pins, like these alligator clips, my little smoother, my brush. I don't know, I have a hairnet in there. Toothbrush that I use for some things. My little topsy tail is in there. And then my metal straw. And then I have another one back here too. This is all ribbons and hair ribbons and clips, like fancy barrettes, all that kind of stuff is in here. So I kind of just stick that up here to be out of the way. Okay, so then in here, okay, so this is my eye collection, my prize eye collection. So, there we go. So these are all of the eyes that I've collected. I'm not going to go through all of them right now, but this is all of them. How I stick them in here is I use tape to like attach the backs, and then I use tape like around the whole piece to like keep it together. So that is my prized eye collection. I have worked very hard to amass this many eyes that are orphaned from their dolls. I have zip ties in here. I have my foam curlers, straws. I have these little American Girl curlers that I've maybe used once. They're good for like really tight curls, but I mostly just use my foam curlers here. Pins, this is what I use to make like the piercings, like facial piercings and stuff like that. And yeah, that's pretty much everything that's in the top one. In this one, I have string. I have these little more organza bags. I bought them in like a quantity of 100 because they like, it was cheaper per bag to get the 100 than it was to get like 20 or 50 or whatever. So I just got the 100. This is, I'm pretty sure this is all hairnets. So the one from the bin up here, I could probably just put in here. I have all of my wigs in here. And then in the back here, I have some different ribbons that I've gotten. I try to avoid getting a bunch of ribbon because like it comes in such bulk and I don't use that much. But every now and then I have broken and gotten some ribbon at the craft store. And then, yeah, so that's pretty much what's in there. I also have like elastic for my restringing and stuff in there. And then in here, this is all paint stuff. So this is paint. I have some more brushes, like in case mine ever break. Because I think Our Generation was like discontinuing these. So I got some on discount, just in case. Get rid of this since it's being annoying. And yeah, paint, paper plates, more brushes, that kind of stuff. And then in here, I use this mainly for storage. So I put extra hangers in here. I have my like laundry bag from when I clean stuffing, and then my little cape, my salon cape that I've handmade in there as well. And I use the hole to be able to like get things in and out easily. So then this bin over here, this is my station of like things that I'm still working on or like projects. So this is a doll that still needs some more work. Her clothes, some other clothes that like eventually I'm going to put dolls in to sell. That's kind of like what this is. These are all things that are listed on like eBay or Facebook Marketplace to sell. So that's kind of what this bin is. But it's another bin that like if I have something I just need to put away, I'll just throw it in there. Again, there's no organization to this quote unquote dollhouse. It's just scattered. And then down here, this is my some glue, some, I don't know, a lint roller, I guess. Some micro mesh down there and some Q-tips, and then my sewing kit. That's what's back in this container is my sewing kit. So yeah. And then a pen and a pencil there in case I need to write something. And then I have a measuring tape because I've been shipping a lot of stuff out via eBay. I also have like a scale here so I can weigh the boxes. My handy dandy bottle to put heads on. And then I also have a salon chair over there, a random stand that no doll is standing in, and then my acne cream to do like acne cream removals. This is one of my dolls. This is Nina chilling out. She's just chilling in Claudie's flapper dress. Even though it is a winter outfit, she is still wearing it in the summer. And then, okay, so in here, I have my big spritz bottle. It just sits there because there's not really a good place for it. So this is Marisol's trunk, and I use this for more tools and stuff. Okay, so then here in the main section, I have my sharps. This is what I consider my sharps kit. So I have like my seam removal tool. I have my eye swap tool, little scissors that are like really pointy. So yeah, this is my sharps kit. And I guess I have some spare bags in there too. These are my gloves for eye swaps. In here, I have all of my pliers and my crimps and stuff like that for when I do like limb tightening. And this originally came with like some, what would I call it? Like separators here. So there was like a line here and then maybe 2 lines here. So you could have a big section and 3 small sections. I actually took those out. I completely took out those sections so that I could have like one big section. I was very tentative to do that, but it worked out really well for me. So, and then there's still shelves on the side here to hold the tray. So the tray can still be held even without those middle sections. So then this is just more like random stuff. I have some extra limb cups that I keep, paper clips. I use these sometimes to make hangers, like if I'm like selling a bunch of stuff. But more recently what I've been using them for is to actually help keep pants on the hangers. So take one out. I'll show you what I mean. So here I have this outfit, and this is like really loose and kind of coming down. So what I've been doing is taking a paper clip like this and going like this. I don't stick it far down because this pointy end is going to get stuck on the fabric, but just like this, and this helps keep it so it doesn't fall down. And this has been working out really nicely actually for those shorts and skirts and stuff that just don't quite stay on the hanger. Because like jumbo paper clips are pretty inexpensive. This is a makeup brush. This is what I use to like clean a doll's face or like the part of their hair of dust. And then my sewing needles are kind of in there too. So this is a human jewelry that like came with the dolls. I don't know what to do with it. So again, there's not really a ton of organization to what I have here. It's just kind of where was it before, and that's where it is now. Okay, so then this is my Glinda doll. She's dressed for school right now, so that's why she's not wearing her big dress. And then this is my dummy parts doll. She's dressed to be a character right now, actually. So that's why she's wearing this tracksuit and she's got a blonde wig on. I need to redo her hair though. I've got 2 of like the AG doll seats back there. I got them so that like I could have my dolls sit at the table. However, this table right here actually doesn't fit because there's like a thing underneath. I don't know if you can see this kind of lip under here. So the chairs don't fit. So I've never actually used those, but someday I will, I'm sure. And then I have a Marie Grace sitting there. She's waiting for some eyes, so she's just chilling. Okay, getting to the dolls. I do have an All My Dolls video coming up eventually. Maybe before this one, maybe the week after, something like that. So I'm not going to go through them in extreme detail here. But, so on the left of the shelves here, we have historical dolls. So we have historical, this whole left side all the way down. It ends with Ivy there on the left. Behind there, I just have like some Build-A-Bears. I don't really collect Build-A-Bears, but years ago, me and my sister went to the Build-A-Bear store, and I'm a Ravenclaw and she's a Hufflepuff, so we each got a Ravenclaw and a Hufflepuff bear. Fast forward many years, my sister isn't really interested in having her Hufflepuff bear or the Ravenclaw bear, so I took both of them. That's the story of those bears. So it kind of ends with Ivy on the left, and then these 2 are Rebecca and Kaya on the right are historical. So that's all of the dolls that I have on the historical shelf. I think I had 1 Minnie up there. I think I put it there because I thought it was funny because the Minnie is Kit wearing that outfit, and then she's next to Ruthie wearing the same outfit. I think I thought that was really funny. So then on the right is more contemporary dolls. So we have Quinn there in the center next to the clock. We have Yael and Remy. And then over here, we have, those are some other dolls that are like my main characters. So that's like Amari, who has been featured on my channel a lot. She's one of my faves with that afro. On the right, we've got, in the red shirt, we've got Peyton. Behind her is Savannah. And then we've got Isla, who is a custom Blair doll. And then down here, we have all of my Welly Wisher dolls. So I have 3 Welly Wisher dolls, and then an off-brand 14-inch doll, who I got as a child for my birthday from my grandmother. So I keep her, but she doesn't really do much. She doesn't get undressed or anything too much. And then these are all of the pets that I have, except for Grace, who's in her scooter. This is all the other pets that I have. So I have Luciana's robot dog, Coconut and Licorice, and then Felicity's lamb Posy, and Bennett, Molly's dog. And then I have Samantha's trunk, and I mostly use this as display for the most part. So I do have some clothes in here, but these are mostly costume clothes. So like Halloween costumes and stuff like that. This huge bulky robe, more costumes, and then the Paloka outfit because it's so long. And then this is my hanger of bags, just various bags. So in here I have my historical characters dolls, all the ones that I have. So I have Sari, I have Felicity's fashion doll, I have Josefina's Nina doll, and then Samantha's Clara doll back there. And then these are all of the pennies and coins that come as part of the character's accessories. Addie's gourd, I think that's Josefina's like bird calling thing. I realize you can't see this. Josefina's bird calling thing. Emily's ration book, and then all in this basket. And then I have a couple of fans. So there's Marie Grace's fan and Elizabeth's fan. This is Kirsten's little kitty. There's supposed to be 2. Missy, and then I think Missy has a little kitten. This is the kitten. I lost the Missy a long time ago. And then this is food and shoes to go with some of the costumes in here. Some of them, not all of them. Again, there's no rhyme or reason about like the organization. This is gardening stuff. And this one's empty. This bottom one is empty, I guess. So yeah, again, no rhyme or reason whatsoever to any of this. Okay, so then on the bottom, I have more classroom dolls. So I filled out the classroom, so all of the girls in my classroom have a doll, but then I have like main characters, and then I have like what probably would honestly be extras. So these are like the extra characters. So beautiful Bella on the right, Vera, Madeline, she's new, number 81 is Madeline in the center with the blue jacket, and she's 81 but with custom green eyes, and she actually has eyes like the Blair doll did, so I kind of put them down there. And then the Isla, if you're curious, she has eyes like Marie Grace. You saw the Marie Grace, that was the donor for them earlier. And then Claire in the purple shirt. And then this is an Our Generation doll in the Eat Out for Her outfit. I do plan to replace her, hopefully with a Claudie mold doll, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm trying to wait for Claudie to go on a sale so that I can get a Claudie to take that doll's place. And then my beautiful number 4, Annie, is in the red jumper. And then all the way on the top, these are my Girl of the Year dolls. So I have Luciana, Covey, and I know McKenna was a World by Us, but I don't have Kira, and she did come out in 2021. So I kind of just lump her in with like Girl of the Year, I guess. And then Raquel up there. So then let's talk about my books. So I have a lot of books here, and I put them behind the dolls to like use the space wisely. So up there I have the original story collections for the first 10 historical dolls, and they're not organized in any way. Again, they're just there. I also have these are some mysteries, Be Forever mysteries, I guess, and then more mysteries, and then these are all of the best friend books that I have, because I do have all of the best friends. And then I have those 3 books at the top, so those adventure books, the Ocean Liner, Railway, and Route 66. They only had adventure books for those 3 dolls, so they're the ones that I have. And I actually display them on I used to have them just sit up there, but I wanted to be able to see them, and then they kept falling over, so I actually got little like displays from Amazon to be able to display all 3 of them. So then behind Remy and Yael, I'm going to move these 2 girlies. I have more books. So these are empty. My husband was like, "You're keeping chocolate?" But like, they're empty. I literally ate the chocolate and then just kept the containers. So there's 6, but they're not for the first 6 dolls, because they have Kit in here instead of Josefina. I'm kind of upset about that. And then, so I have Caroline's books here. I have Courtney's, Melody's, Mary Ellen's, Nenea's, and then Cecilia Marie Grace's. And I specifically sought out the version of the books that were released at the beginning of like when the dolls were released. So I know that these are the Be Forever versions, but these were the 3 dolls that were released at the time of Be Forever. So I wanted to have the original books that they came with, which was Be Forever. I had Be Forever Caroline books, and then later learned that Caroline was actually released pre-Be Forever. And I was like, okay, now I have to go out and hunt down all 8 books, or all 6 books, separate. So yeah, and then I have some more mysteries. Isabel and Nikki's book. So sad they only have 1 book. And then Claudie's 2 books right there. Oh, and of course, we can't forget my lovely little people that I have as well. And I've carefully displayed them here so that you can still kind of see them behind the dolls. And if you are curious what shelves these are Ivar from IKEA. You can like customize how many shelves you get. There's pegs all along the sides, so you can be really like custom basically on what design you want. I designed it online before I purchased the pieces, and they have been perfect. I love having more headroom than some of the other popular shelves do. Behind Quinn, I have more books, of course. So here I have more mysteries, so many mysteries. I think I don't even own all of the mysteries. But I have more. They're kind of generally sorted by character, by color, but there's like, it's not beyond that. Like Felicity's over here, Kit's over there. They're just by color. Z's books and Tenny's books. these are the 3 World by Us books. And then these are all of the short stories all stacked up. These are books that I hope to read and then I'll probably sell because I don't feel like I need to own the books for them, but I found them for cheap. And so I was like, and I want to read them anyway, might as well just get them. So then I also have some books back here. Let me try to get these dolls out. So then back here I have Girl of the Year books primarily. So this is not all of them. This is the more recent Girl of the Year books. So I have, I'll move this too. I have Raquel Summer all the way back through Grace here. And then I have all the other Girl of the Year books behind here. So Isabel all the way back to Lindsay at the very beginning. Just peeking out that you can just barely see. Okay, so this is my community center, like living room, you could say. So I have like the table and chairs and a desk, and I had an extra kid swivel chair, so I put that there. And then I have 2 of the World by Us couches and 1 Our Generation couch. I take the TV off of the little TV stand because it keeps falling over, so I just put that down. Some musical instruments because Amari is a musician. And then I have like a fridge and a bunny hutch there because they have a pet bunny named Cinnamon. I'm pretty sure I named it Cinnamon or Chestnut. I don't remember. I always have to look back at my notes to see what I named it. And that is it. That is pretty much what I mean when I say the dollhouse. And then this is what I mean by the shelves. So if a doll is on the shelf, that's what it means. My workstation, and then storage. But that is not all. Did you think that that was all? No. I said I have doll stuff all over little spaces. So let's take a look at that. So here I have my Girls of Many Lands dolls. They're displayed in a glass case because I don't like to have to clean dust off of them. These are the books for the Girls of Many Lands books. I have one display case that I used for one doll, and then when I started getting all of the Girls of Many Lands dolls, I had to graduate up to that case. So now I just put the books in there because why not? That thing is like hard to ship because it's glass. I just haven't bothered. That bag is like Bitty Baby accessories and Bitty Twin accessories. And then here are my Bitty Baby and my Bitty Twin. So I have all of their clothes lined up there, hanging from a string because hacky. And that is my Bitty Twin and Bitty Baby, and they just stay there under a blanket all the time. So then, moving around here, so behind this curtain is my workstation. So I'm gonna kind of turn this so you can orient. So that's my silent Taylor Swift thing. So I have this room here, and then outside and to the left, that's the doll space. So this is my workstation. I work from home most of the time, so that's what's behind the curtain. I use the curtain to just have a nice plain background. We do have a second bedroom in here. So that's what the bed is a second bedroom. And then this couch might look familiar because this is where I record all of my videos. So then under this bed is where I keep more books. So under here, I have more books that came with dolls, kind of right there. In there are bins. Let me try to sneak around. So in here, I have hats, Girl of the Year bags. So like I said, I keep one bag per character. So this is Leah's. So this is all the Girl of the Year. And then this is all of the historical. So like Ruthie, I don't know, whose is this? Josefina's. So they're all labeled with whoever the character is. And I kind of just keep them all in here. So when it's time for me to change the clothes on my dolls, I go in here, the bag that goes with the doll. And then here I have more doll stuff, of course. So here on the left, this is, I forget what it's called, but I have the armoire and the trundle bed. And I haven't used it very much lately, but like, yeah, that's what that is. I have Claudie's bed, which I got on discount. Not as much of a discount as they've been having lately on this bed, but I did get it on discount. And then I put Kirsten's quilt over it. I have Felicity's nightstand table. And I have this is Kirsten's trestle table and chairs, but I made it like a computer station. So I have 2 computers and keyboards and mice. And then I guess I have some shipping tape there. Probably because I was taping stuff up to like sell or something. And then going in the closet. So this is behind the scenes. You are seeing everything behind the scenes. Okay, so then this is storage. So on the left here, I have like Girl of the Year clothes and then some meat outfits right there by Covey's big poofy jacket. And then I have some historical clothes that are not part of my like 4 times a year rotation. I have American Girl shirts that fit me. So that's there. And then I have like the Hill House Home, that's Glinda's dress, that kind of stuff there. I have more clothes here. So this is all like, I have Ivy's, this is by time period. So I have Ivy's stuff on the right, all the way to Felicity's stuff on the left. I don't have very many Kaya clothes, so that's not really of importance to me right now. But that's what all that is. Some teddy bears from when I was a kid. And then this is what I mean by the closet. So when I tell somebody I have dolls in the closet, this is what I mean. So these are all dolls that will be part of my collection that I have yet to open. There. I have a couple down there. And I have some up here. That is another Kit's desk and chair that I've yet to open. And then on the far left there in that box is Emily and Molly's winter sled. So this is what I mean by the closet. I have clothes all over. Dolls and doll accessories. More dolls. This is stuff that I use for stain removal. So I have my lizard tank and my UV heat light and like a rack that I put it on. So that's all stuff for stain removal. I sometimes use this, that Our Generation box that I've defolded. I use that to like block light because it's really bright and it is like UV, so it is kind of like harmful too. So I'll use that as well. And the very last interesting thing is I do keep some clothes in the armoire. So we can see I have some clothes here, clothes that are short particularly because there's not really room for dresses. Some hair ties and welly wisher shoes. And some AG shoes. Again, there's no organization to how any of this is stored. It's really just like, where did I put it last? And then it's probably still there. I put this tape on here and I put it here because this bangs. So I put that there just to protect it from scratches. So yeah, that is it. That is all the doll furniture that I have. All of the doll storage that I have. A hint behind the scenes at what the closet is and what the shelf is. So I think that's all the interesting stuff. So thank you so much for joining me on this dollhouse tour. I thought it was interesting. I always enjoy watching people go a little bit behind the scenes at what their storage looks like, at what their setup is like. So I hope you liked seeing mine. And if you did like the video and you made it all the way here, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe below and give it a thumbs up. And I will see you next time on Emma's Dollhouse. Bye.